My name is Claudio Villanueva. I graduated in 2001 with a bachelor's degree from Cal State San Bernardino. I'm currently a postdoctoral fellow at UCLA in the laboratory of Peter Tontinos. I've been a postdoctoral fellow for 4 years in the Tontinos lab. I came into this position after hearing about some of the research that was being done at UCLA. This lab works on diabetes and obesity research, and this is something that I was quite interested in from my PhD thesis work. And so I contacted Peter Tontinos and asked him whether he was interested in having additional postdoctoral fellows. And so I interviewed with Peter, and he agreed to have me join his lab and continue doing research in metabolism. A typical day for me is composed of designing experiments, executing the experiments, and analyzing the experiments and interpreting the data. And this primarily is done in a laboratory setting where we're working on the bench usually. My work primarily involves tissue culture work as well as working with in vivo models such as mice. My main function as a postdoctoral fellow is to do research. And so the research is geared towards understanding how genes are involved in regulating metabolism and how these genes affect diabetes and obesity. I also mentor the graduate students as well as some of the new postdoctoral fellows in the lab. And so I help them troubleshoot experiments when they have difficulties. I'm also involved in writing manuscripts when we get to the point where we have a story to tell, such as the recent findings that we published in Cell Metabolism. I'm involved in writing that and talking to the principal investigator and coming together and coming up with the story. I'm also involved in reviewing papers. So we see manuscripts in the lab, and so we usually give feedback and suggest experiments that could make their work better. I'm also involved in presenting our research at international conferences. In these conferences, we're presenting our research by either poster presentation or oral presentation. The most interesting thing about my job is being able to make new discoveries. Looking into cells and figuring out where a specific protein is localized in a cell. And how this protein functions and makes the cell work to do what it does. In our case, we study metabolism. And so making those new discoveries, I think, is the driving force of why I decided to become a scientist. The most unexpected part of my job is when experiments don't work. So oftentimes in the lab, we are designing experiments and sometimes they don't work. And so you have to troubleshoot them and figure out how is it that we can get this experiment to work. And so sometimes when it doesn't work, it's very unexpected, but it happens more often than not. The best part of my job is being able to travel and discuss science with other scientists. That's something that I really enjoy. I also enjoy working on metabolism and diabetes because it affects a large proportion of the population. And so one of the reasons why I like to do research in diabetes is because this affects minority population, such as Latinos. So Latinos are twice as more likely to develop diabetes than other groups. And so for me, this is something that I feel is important for my community, and it also has a great impact on the community at large. The faculty at Cal State San Bernardino really prepared me for my career choice. We had small classrooms in the biology department, and so that meant that you got one-on-one interaction with the faculty. In some of the classes, there were approximately 15 students. And this was great for me because it really gave me the opportunity to talk to them, to be able to ask questions and get feedback. And there were several faculty members at Cal State San Bernardino that inspired me to go into the sciences. The contacts with the faculty were really important in getting into graduate school. knowing the faculty and having them know you as well is really important, because these will be the people that give you recommendations. And so when applying for graduate school, you have to have at least 3 letters of recommendation, and you want them to be strong. Alumni that have graduated from the university can be in a position to hire individuals, and knowing the type of and quality of education that you can get from Cal State San Bernardino will make it more likely for an alumni to look at you and to hire you in the future. Having mentors is really important, and so if you can find some mentors that are alumni, that's great, because they know where you've been. They know that coming out of college can be a daunting task in finding a job. The Alumni Association can help you find mentors in your field. They're really critical avenues for finding jobs as well. And so having that connection can be really important in finding a new job after graduating. So if you decide that you're interested in becoming a scientist, I would really recommend working in a lab and doing research. Having that hands-on experience is really important in applying for graduate school and getting into a PhD program. This is something that's, I think, really important to do at an early stage as a student at Cal State San Bernardino, is to find a lab where you can work and have that experience for at least a year before applying to graduate school. Contact one of your faculty members and tell them that you're interested in a career in science and you want to do research. And so usually what they'll have you do is they'll have you come to the lab, we'll give you a project, and you can work on the project and see whether doing science is something that you're interested in. If you have that passion towards science after you do this, then I think that a career in science will be something that will work for you.